Hey folks, welcome to Friendly Orbit, the podcast that draws us together no matter how far we fly. I'm Ceres, 1 year older and 1 year wiser, and I'm joined by...
Theia, successfully drawn back together no matter how far I fly.
Ah, there we go. It's been a year since we started the podcast.
Yes.
Yay! This is our anniversary episode. And so we're going to do a little year in review. We're going to talk about all the podcast episodes that we made in the last year, all 50 of them. Well, we won't be able to talk about all 50 of them, but we've got about 17 different categories for which we'll be handing out awards. And then at the end of the episode, we'll hand out one award to the best episode.
Yes. So, Ceres, why did we start doing this podcast?
Oh, because we're moving away.
Uh-huh.
And since then, you've moved back and moved away and moved back again. So here we are.
It's much like an orbit. I keep, swinging around.
It's crazy because it's annual. Like, you came back at the end of the year last time as well. Now you're back at the end of the year this time again.
Yeah, it's
this is your annual migration.
The annual migration.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
And we're back. So for our listeners, we are outside. We are looking at the hills. It's a beautiful, cloudy day.
But
There's
there
a
may
little
be
bit of
some
sun.
there may be some slight background noises of construction or wind that you might hear, but we hope you bear with us. We have our 17 categories for which we'll be handing out awards, and one of the rules we imposed on ourselves is for the first 17 categories, none of the episodes can be duplicate. So maybe sometimes there is an episode that deserves that specific title more than another, but if it's already won an award in a different category from us, then it's going to keep that. Each of us are going to hand out one award for each category, so there'll always be two winners for each category unless we agree it's the same one.
Yes.
We've come up with our answers in advance, so let's get into it.
Let's get into it. First category, most entertaining to record series.
Yeah, so here I've got one with an honorable mention. Cutscene Simulator, for me, was one of the funniest ones to record. We were basically, Theia was reading an RPG horror story, and I was reacting to it, and then we were talking about it. I remember laughing so much during that episode that my face hurt after the recording.
It was incredible. I knew the story, so for me it was way less. But like I was still breaking up sometimes while reading.
Yeah.
Just because, I also re-listened to the episode. It's one of the ones that like I really enjoyed re-listening to it.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was so funny, and it was so surprising every time. Like,
every time you thought
you had figured it out, exactly, it would get worse in a different way than you thought.
Yeah.
My honorable mention is also Game with No Name. I really enjoyed recording that. That was the one where we did the improvisational zombie game that I used to play as a kid with other kids, and we played it as adults.
You told me like the game is technically not necessarily about zombies, but it always ended up being about
always
zombies.
Ended up being.
You were like 12-year-olds.
Exactly, and it's like, The Walking Dead was big, I think, at the time. I don't know what it was.
It's interesting.
We were in a zombie phase.
I was never into zombies.
Yeah.
The most zombie media I consumed has been like in the past few years.
Yeah.
I'd say. But, yeah.
I still remember that line where like we were joking that you find that the police uniform you're wearing actually has Velcro going down the side, and it's like tearaway stripper pants.
I'm that kind of cop.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, most entertaining still goes to Cutscene Simulator, but honorable mention to.
I think this is I realize it's kind of a recurring theme with me, with my answers.
Mm-hmm.
I like the episodes where we play something.
Mm-hmm.
And so for my most entertaining to record, I'm kind of like clustering them together, are the Kingdom episodes. I think they were really fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun to play. Kingdom is also something I would like to do again.
Yeah.
It's on my kind of like want to do another one of these.
Yeah.
At some point list of things.
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing Kingdom, especially the climax episode of the Kingdom series. It was really fun, and
We were firing on all cylinders.
yeah, we totally were.
And we were in sync. I was like,
yeah,
I'll let you do your thing, and then I'll swoop in when the time is right.
It was so good. It was so good, man. It gave me that feeling of like, have you ever gotten like really good at a video game or something like that, and then like you beat the boss flawlessly without getting hit a single time? It was like that flow state.
Cool. Most entertaining to listen to. I'm gonna start with this one. This is probably like one of the MVPs of our podcast. Dog Welder cometh.
Yeah, I think Dog Welder is legit one of the most entertaining episodes to listen to that we've made.
And like honorable mention is like Marvel Comics Welcomes Cool Raaba, which is my one. Which is the brother, the older.
Yeah, the older brother, maybe slightly less talented.
Cool Raaba walked so that Dog Welder could run.
It was so crazy. When I was like, if you made up Cool Raaba, like, as in Chill Raava, who like is a mystic from outer space who likes ice cream, I was like, you're a sick man. And then that moment where you're just like, well, I guess I'm a sick man because I did. I was just like,
yeah, and I really appreciate it because maybe listeners familiar with the deep lore of the podcast might know that was our second take of Cool Raaba.
That is true.
And it was our second take, and I came up with all of those.
Wait,
save
that story.
Okay, I will save the story, but what I will say is I came up with the entire episode in like 1 hour time max. And so you said, Theia, you came up with all of these things. It's incredible. And also you came up with Cool Raaba all in 1 hour.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It felt really nice. So yeah, but Dog Weather Cometh is my favorite, which is our follow-up episode with our guest stars Ganymede and Polaris.
Yeah,
all big DC nerds to challenge Ceres for the throne.
And the hilarious part is we all tied in the end.
You all tied in the end. Also, Ganymede and Polaris are always on the same page, and you instead are like the the wild card of the team.
Wild card. All right. Which episode would you do again because it was so bad? Like which episode deserves the second take?
Mine is Edge of Extinction Part 1, The Long Road, the episode where we tried to summarize
an entire D&D campaign over 3 years in like an hour.
Yeah, and like we took definitely too much time on details in the first half, and we realized that halfway through, and then we started like cutting through stuff, and like it was sad also because some of our favorite moments of the adventure were
in the second half. Yeah,
and so yeah, I would definitely give it a second pass.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have a lot actually here that I could mention, right? Yeah. There's a few episodes that I just feel didn't quite turn out the way I wanted them to, like Beating or Eating D&D or Flea Manual, which I feel like should have been from the start a more deliberate like comparison. Should you buy of us talking about Flea Mortals and talking about how it's better than the Monster Manual, but there are also other ones where it's just like I would want to do them again because there's so little required to fix them. For me, Rebel Moon, just turn the switch on the fucking mic. It's actually a good episode, but even I couldn't listen all the way through it because it's really hard at points to understand what you're saying just because I fucking didn't put the switch on the microphone in the right position.
I have another category with Rebel Moon for like same reason but different category.
Yeah.
While I'm like dunking on it.
And the last one, but this is totally an honorable mention, is or dishonorable mention in this case, is to all the episodes where we accidentally upload like real names or personal details and then have to go back and edit them and redo them. Given the chance, I would retake those.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Which was the best intro joke?
Yeah. Now we start our best.
Yeah.
Now became the best intro joke for me. The very first one from the Arcane episode where we were still doing How Are You Feeling? And I was like, today I'm feeling life is hard and feels like a bit of misery.
Feels like
everyone wants to be a
yeah, it feels like everyone wants to be my enemy.
Yeah, especially the first take, which we didn't end up using. You didn't react to it immediately with like a counter joke. You just said like, oh yeah, it sounds tough, man. And then I said, spare the sympathy.
Yeah, I didn't get it at first, and then I got it when you said spare the sympathy. I was like, oh, I get it. It's the song. My favorite intro joke was the recent one. the multiversal one you did, where you got abducted by alternate universe Theia.
Yeah.
That was so great. I loved that. It was so creative, and like you really committed to the bit. So that was my favorite intro joke of the year.
Thank you. Best thumbnail. Here I get to gloat because I make them all.
Exactly. You drew all the thumbnails. I had best edit originally as a category. I was like, because I edit most of the episodes.
It's difficult.
But like, it's like,
I mean, most heroic edit, dog welder, comment, because of how fucking long it was. And
my best edit was going to be the trailer. The trailer actually really came together really well. The trailer episode, if you're on YouTube, you don't know this, we have a trailer. You can watch it on Spotify. Maybe we should upload it one day.
Yeah.
But it actually really came together well. I was like, wow, this is actually, we were only 4 episodes in, and I was like, I already have the perfect 3 moments to cut together into a trailer.
Yeah, I don't think the eruption of the Etna was in the equation.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, best thumbnail.
But my best thumbnail was Orvitor, the Lost Orb Wander. It was so funny to me, just the way that you just had like this pixelated screenshot of all this narrating text flowing past one of our chibis. I thought that was so funny, the way that you did that, and it cracked me up. And it was one of the ones I didn't see for a long time until after it was done, and I looked at it and I thought it was hilarious. But to be honest, I have like every single other one of the thumbnails is an honorable mention in my book. Like I like all of them so much, and especially the recent changes you made to the thumbnail where you kind of are developing a new format. Like all 3 of our most recent thumbnails I think are like definitely good enough to be somewhere at the top of this list. But I was also expecting you to pick one of those. So which one did you pick?
So, I mean, first, real quick, on the thumbnail of Avatar, you might have not noticed it, but did you notice what Aang was holding?
I just noticed he looked sad.
He looked sad. He was holding a cross because he's Jesus Christ.
Perfect.
Yeah. So my favorite one, I struggled a bit. I liked some of the new ones as well, but I decided to pick from the other ones. There is part 3 of Kingdom. Where I really like how I drew like the egg from which the creature, the kaiju emerges.
Later. Yeah.
I really like it. But if I had to pick a favorite one, I picked the 3 Rules a Wizard Should Know one.
Oh, yeah. The Stormlight one.
Yeah, you're Kaladin and I'm Lashvi. I really like it. I really liked especially being able to draw myself as Lashvi. Like Kaladin is fun, but like I was, as you can imagine, I'm more into like the monster crab people and all their weird body transformations.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun, and I liked how it worked out. Where like my chibi is a bit like dark-skinned crab-like with like the harsher skin. So
you have the orange and black color palette as well.
And you have the blue eyes, so it worked so well.
It did.
Like you are the real light eye of the podcast.
And I also really liked most recently the This Is Not a Thumbnail one for judge, jury, and executive producer. That was a great one, but still, Orvitor wins this one for me.
Okay. Best title. Easy. We didn't like your boner.
Really, that was a contentious title. I'm not sure we can do this.
I'm edgy. I like my sick humor.
Yeah. I really liked Do Androids Dream of Full Functionality, which was a recent one, but I thought it was pretty funny.
Thank you.
Just the subtext and the moment was definitely one of the funniest moments of those episodes, like of the Star Trek episodes and of the actual review of Star Trek episode. Yeah, I really liked that one. There were a few, though, that I really liked. I also really liked Judge, Jury, and Executive Producer. That one felt very clever. But I also liked just like Tentacle Time for the simplicity, for the Cthulhu.
And rolls right off your tongue.
Exactly, for the...
That's like a tentacle.
For the...
Right on the throat.
For the Lovecraft episode. And also, while I'm at it, Tactical Cinematic Heroic Dream Girl was also a fun pun.
That was
like instead of Manic Pixie Dream Girl. So there were a few that I liked, but still, Androids wins the day for me.
Thank you. Best episode format.
Yeah, so we came up with a few different episode formats during this year. At first, we didn't really know exactly. We just knew we wanted to bring a different topic every week.
Yeah.
But we ended up coming up with a few different sort of formats for episodes we do.
We had a couple of tier list episodes.
Yeah, we have tier lists Game of Rings and D tier and D tier.
Yeah.
Those were our tier list episodes. We had just reading Reddit. We only did that once, but it's still on my list of one that we should really do again.
I'd like to do it again.
We did reviews, like movie and cinema reviews, as well as book reviews. Like reviews was one of our most common episode types.
Yeah.
And I mean, we did watch.
Discussion.
We did Head Up Your Ass with Theia. We did Watch Our Botch. We did Arcane Season 1 and 2. We did the Self-Compassion episode is technically a book review. Like, we did a lot of those, and I think they're pretty great. Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying? Freeform discussion?
Freeform discussion, yeah, with maybe like a couple of like bullet points, but that's also like probably the most.
Yeah. Those are the easiest to record, in my opinion, right? Like, just one person comes with a topic, the other person comments on that topic, we come to some kind of synthesis by the end of the episode. Those take less prep work than actually having to read or watch something. And then, obviously, live play. So we ended up playing Kingdom, we ended up playing Microscope, but we also played Draw Steel, and
we have my quiz, my quiz format.
That's true.
Very popular.
Yeah, the quiz format, like the Truth or Theia.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I actually have this name now, Truth or Theia, which, by the way, is my answer. I almost gave it to live play, but like if I'm thinking like, what's the episode type that I want to do again?
Yeah,
and like Truth or Theia is burning into my heart. I want to move also away from just like doing characters. I have other ideas.
Yeah.
Like I have some crazy shit that I want to just like, I want to see what can I come up with.
Yeah.
To just like balance the plates and see if you.
And if you think about it, if you group it together with Sauropod, then the quiz format. But I don't really want to do it. I was thinking about it if I should do one for like D&D or something. It just seems like a lot of work to me. It seems quite hard to me. It doesn't come as naturally to me as it does to you. But I still think it's a really great format. I just prefer to play it than to author it or to host it. My winner was reviews. I was like, you can't have a format that you've done 20 of and not say it's a good format, right? Like, we did so many good reviews, so many fun episodes. We had Orvitor, so we had Avatar, we had Megalopolis, we had Rebel Moon, we watched Cowboy Bebop, we watched Star Trek, we watched Firefly, like Futurama,
War of the Worlds.
We did War of the Worlds. We did
Arcane.
We even review our own D&D campaigns at this point. So like. We did a lot of reviews, and I enjoyed a lot of our reviews. It's like one of the easiest ways, I think, to make a good episode, because you just need something that's interesting to review, and then the rest comes naturally. Like the thoughts that it provokes while you're watching it come naturally, and you just give them to the microphone after the fact.
Yeah. All right. Hardest episode to make.
Hardest episode to make. I have two here, but I'm going to start with one because I think you might say the other. The Sauropod was hard.
I assumed, yeah.
The Sauropod was hard to make. That quiz... Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't pick this one because it's one of yours.
Yeah.
So like, I talked about the one that added was the most hard for me.
So for me, the Sauropod, the difficulty of the Sauropod was first off fact checking the information. It's one thing when you hear something on a podcast that a paleontologist makes, and you like write that down. Oh, this would make a good question. But then when it actually comes time for you to formulate the question, you realize that there might be slight inconsistencies implied by the formulation of the question. Like, you have to get the formulation just right for it to match the piece of evidence you were presented on the podcast, right? Because they said it's one of the best, but did they say it's the best, right? Or something like that? They said it's, and, there's exceptions that they might, and I'm not an expert, right? I've just listened to a podcast and it inspired me to want to make a quiz. The other issue was you guys all had wildly different levels of dinosaur knowledge. And so I had to make a quiz in which there were a lot of rubber banding mechanics that could catch up players who made mistakes early on in the game.
Yeah, and end up kind of determining the outcome of the episode more than...
And then balancing those mechanics is incredibly hard because I can't play test it, right? Because I only have one quiz. If I play test it, you guys already know the answers to the quiz. So I'd have to play test it with other players and yada, yada, yada. So it was a lot of work putting those mechanics together. I still would like to do another one like it at some point, but I'm not sure if this format is the right way to do it. Like, I do want to talk about dinosaurs sometimes. I do want to talk about pterosaurs sometimes, but... I don't know exactly how I'll do it again. It was an episode that was a labor of love, but there was a lot of labor involved.
Yeah. Also, it doesn't help that every time that you have a new hyperfixation, you come to me and you tell me all about it.
Yeah.
So every time it was like, I know about this one.
Yeah, exactly. It's like now my most recent thing was reading a book on Napoleon, and now it's like I'm like, should I do an episode?
Quiz me on Napoleon.
Yeah, exactly.
I will destroy the others.
Exactly. What was your hardest episode?
So this one was a bit difficult to determine, also because I had kind of like a more fun interpretation of the sentence.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say, like, honestly, like the Cool Raaba and all, whether those are like objectively, I have to sit down and come up with all this stuff, and do all this research.
Mm-hmm.
Also, for the Cool Raaba one specifically, I had to do it twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
I had to do it twice. But really, I need to thank the friend of the podcast, Zack Snyder, for having me. I had to sit for 5 hours of Red in a way, that might be the hardest episode.
That was definitely a hard episode. I agree. It was the hardest of the movies to sit through.
Yeah.
For me, I have an honorable mention for the AI D&D episode. That actually took a lot of work. Like, actually getting the GPT to work, uploading the documents.
You're right. That's the one. I think for both of us.
Yeah.
Also because it took from both of us a lot of time and effort. And
then you have to sit there waiting for a minute and a half for each prompt to process for, like, I mean, we started recording at like 4 or something, and like we weren't done until like 9. It was just like, oh my god.
Awful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or, I mean, not recording, but playing. I mean, actually, right? We still had to actually record it the next day afterward. We weren't even done at that point.
Yeah. Next category. The episode that the algorithm loved more than you did.
Yeah, so these are the ones that got like more listens, more views, or more watch time than we really sort of proportionally would rank them personally.
Yeah. For me, it's Rebel Moon.
Yeah.
Because the audio was really bad.
Yeah.
And like I was really unsatisfied with that episode.
Yeah.
I was upset.
Wait.
But then on YouTube, we got a lot of views.
Wait, really?
I mean, it got 39 views, which like puts it on the first page of episode, I think.
That's interesting. I had no idea that it did so well on YouTube, because I know it sucked on Spotify. Yeah, for me, the episode that the algorithm loved more than I did, it wasn't that I didn't love the episode, but the response to it was so huge, was 3 tips for game design. Variants, reward, and toothpaste.
Yeah.
That one did so well on YouTube.
So well.
It was just exploding, and I was like, that was one of the easiest ones for me to make, because I just needed 3 different examples of a little tidbit in game design where I was like, that was cool. I'll tell Theia about it.
Yeah. I also, honorable mention, on Spotify, the Edge of Extinction Part 1 did so well, probably because a lot of our friends listened to it.
Yeah.
And I brought it up as the one that like I would redo because it sucks. So yeah,
I don't think it sucks that bad. I mean, I understand what you're talking about, but I actually really enjoyed making it, so that counts for something.
Yeah, I definitely like redoing it if I could.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next
we have the inverse. The episode that the algorithm didn't love as much as you did. So this is why I didn't mention Kingdom as one of our best ones to make. Like, I did have a ton of fun making Kingdom. I really loved Kingdom.
And it didn't do it. They're not interested.
They didn't like it. They don't like 4-parters. They like episodic content from us.
They don't like me going...
We are the bug people.
We are the bug people.
Yeah. So Kingdom, basically we played the TTRPG Kingdom, which is kind of a free-form narrative game, but it still has a few rules where you build this history of a kingdom together. And I had a lot of fun making Kingdom, and I did see it a little bit as my baby. I was also like, this is so awesome. We cranked out 4 of these episodes in 2 days of recording, right? Yeah. We're totally back on track with our recording schedule. But it turns out...
Seriously, if we just dedicated a day, and just sat down one day, let's play Kingdom, we could play a whole game, a whole campaign.
Yeah.
Like 4 episodes one day, we'd have a lot of fun with it. Wouldn't feel tedious at all.
Yeah, but people didn't like it. People don't like 2-hour, 4-part episode series from us, which I guess makes a lot of sense. And it's probably more fun.
Even our friends told us, like, man, stop. You have to stop.
And we were like, we already recorded it. Like, I have to release it now.
Be a little octopus guy.
Yeah.
I want to be the mistake.
And of course, it's more fun for us because we get to make the decisions as we go. But yeah, so that was for me.
Mine it's another Edge of Extinction episode. The second one.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Because the audience that pushed the first one so high were our guests in the second part.
They had already been there.
Yeah, and I had so much fun recording that, talking about the campaign, hearing everything that you guys loved about my campaign.
Yeah, it
was great, and it was a very heartwarming episode for me. And on Spotify and on YouTube, nobody gave a shit about the thing that made me feel fuzzy.
Yeah,
so
No, I get that. That's a heartbreaker too.
Brainiest episode.
Brainy.
Asimov.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the one where we sat down and did the science.
Yeah, and we talked about, is it possible to predict the future with psychohistory? Is that technically possible?
Yeah, and like, I mean, maybe the one kind of like feedback that I heard from like my dad, he didn't listen to the episode, but he heard the arguments that we talked about, and he said basically like the whole environmental aspect. It's like if you work on a galactic scale with the technology accessible to like the age that the Foundation works in, maybe that kind of stuff is negligible.
Yeah.
Unless the really big stuff like planet collapse, but like even then you can kind of like see that coming and work around it. So
yeah, I mean that's the thing. We talked about that, right, a little bit about how like does the environmental effect like equal out over the entire galaxy, right?
Yeah.
But like if that's the case, you can't apply his psychohistory to individual people's lives or to like situations the way that he does, right? Like often psychohistory then is still used in a way that violates those terms, and I would argue that even on the galactic scale, right, like economies are connected, right? And like if like for a weird fluke reason 5 famines start in 5 connected planets that are crucial to this thing, right, then overall it can still have an impact, right?
Yeah.
So and like especially when you have like there's moments where the Foundation is like where like there's like these great man moments of history, right, where like in Foundation it's the mule, right?
That's the only one, really.
And if the mule is on a planet where the sun goes supernova while he's there, right, or where he like just trips and falls, right?
But I mean, the mule is not part of the equation.
Yeah, but like the mule indicates like clearly one of those situations where sometimes world history is controlled by individual people because we tend to collect power in the hands of few individuals. Like the empire has an emperor. The life of that emperor is very much impacted by the climate and environmental impacts of what's happening.
If a pandemic occurs on Trantor, that will change the culture of the empire.
Exactly. And so, like, yeah, from that perspective, I don't fully buy the argument. Like, I see it kind of in abstraction, but when you really actually get into the details, I think the argument still doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
My brainiest episode was Judge, Jury, and Executive Producer.
Hey.
So this is, of course, very brainy because it's such a subjective episode. You know, we talk about what makes art good, how do we believe in it, like why
we are right,
why we're right about it. We had 3 different opinions and we debated a lot about it. What makes good art? Is there bad art? So on and so forth. I used words like pseudo-subjective. It's definitely like one of the...
Freud used words like constructivist.
Exactly. It was definitely one of the episodes where we had... Theia used words like bad. It was definitely one of the episodes where we got into the details, and you really had to sort of think about it, you know, and there's like no clear answer. So there was a lot of debate on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Most valuable episode.
Most valuable.
So this is the episode like you're the most proud of, or like you would want like feel like has the strongest statement, or somehow, you know.
Yeah. I don't know if like did we really bring this up before? Like, does it count? But like, it would be Cool Raaba probably my most valuable episode. But like, I have kind of brought up before how like the hardest episodes to make were those ones. So if we need to pick another one, I will pick another one.
Yeah.
But like otherwise, that's my baby.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few here also that would have won other awards if we didn't have the rule that each award needs to go to a different episode.
Yeah, so if we consider that, what's my baby? I keep coming back to episodes that I already brought up. I keep coming back to episodes that we already talked about. But I think then it might be Avatar, The Last Airbender. It's our first movie review. The first time I thought it would be fun to watch a bad movie. In general, also for me, outside of the podcast, I know about a lot of bad movies, but I hardly have found the opportunity to sit down and watch one.
Yeah.
And I really like the idea of having you as my captive. Like, no, this is my idea for the episode. You cannot say no. Sit down. You were my captive.
So, yeah.
And I always wanted to watch this movie.
Yeah, no, I get that. You know, and it spawned a cool series off of it. And I think it's interesting because it's like, once you start watching a lot...
uncool series off of it. Very uncool.
I feel like the more episodes you watch, or the more bad movies you watch, the more you get a little jaded to it. The first time, you're like, how did they get away with it? How could they find it? The outrage is so much more palpable. When I heard the episode, back at that point, the first time I listened to the episode, after the edit, of course, we'd already done other reviews. I was like, wow, he's getting really upset about stuff that I've come to accept from terrible movies. Like me being so up in arms about the narration, and then it's like, you know, by the time you get to Amazon Prime, you're like,
justice was sad for Caesar Catalina.
Yeah.
While the Statue of Justice is literally on the street crying.
Yeah.
Incredible.
My most valuable episode is by far most sincere episode that we've done so far, How to Be a Friend to Yourself.
Yes.
The review on self-compassion and how to treat yourself better and how that can help with mental health. I thought that was a really great episode. One of the ones I like to listen to the most, just because it's always good to have that reminder, right? Like for me, I deal with that as an issue, so it's always nice to have it, be able to go back to it. And it's like the one statement of kindness that I want to kind of radiate out in the world. For me, that's why it has value.
All right. I think, it's a great episode. I had a very good time with it. I like drawing the Theia holding the mini-me.
Yeah.
Okay, most surprising episode.
I have an honorable mention. There was this consistent pattern that would happen in the movie reviews, also in the Reddit story, where I'd be like, there's no way X happens. And they was like, X is about to happen. And then X happened, you know? I would always
in the movies or shows, because I don't know them. With a horror story, I would know it.
Yeah, but it was so funny how, like, in the Reddit story and in Avatar and in Star Trek, like, things would go wrong. That would just, it would always be worse than I expected. In some weird, strange way that I completely didn't expect, you know? It was always like...
Yeah, like the misogyny angle from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a harem thing.
Yeah.
Like, no.
I was like, no, not the mom. Come on. She's smart and responsible. And no, it is that. Okay. But that's my honorable mention. I do, because I already mentioned most of those episodes in other awards. Yeah. So the one that I have for this award is Tentacle Time. The completely batshit story of Lovecraft's life that you told me, or like the moment where he's like a total like pro-capitalist fascist racist, and then he's like, oh, in the Great Depression the enlightened elites will of course take care of the people. When this did not happen, he became a socialist. I was just like, oh my god, his life was so funny. And it was just like, of course we did a lot of other stuff in that episode that was then less surprising, but that moment where you're telling me all about his life was just so fucking funny and surprising. So
my most surprising episode was Draw Steel Part 2.
Oh.
Where we do the whole combat. And it was very interesting to learn how Draw Steel combat is different from D&D combat. Mm-hmm. Not just that the mechanics are different, but you're supposed to think about it in a different way. You're supposed to always be teetering on the edge of death.
Yeah.
Which in D&D is not the case.
Yeah.
So that was very, very interesting.
I really enjoyed the Draw Steel episodes. I'm sad they didn't fit into more awards for me, so I'm happy to talk about them. Yeah. That was really interesting.
One in particular. The other two felt like roughly what I would expect. Like the mechanics are slightly different, the rules are slightly different, but we're there.
I had a moment last night during our new D&D campaign where I just like couldn't roll above an 11 on a D20, and therefore all my monster attacks were missing. You know, I was the DM, and the fight just, obviously it was fun for the players to some degree, but I felt the fight was not as challenging and as intimidating as maybe it should have been. And the whole time I was sitting there, I was like, I wish I was playing fucking Draw Steel. God damn it, I wish I could always deal damage no matter what I roll. You know, I was like, it was just driving me nuts. By the end of the night, I was like ready to quit D&D for life. I made like 9 attacks with advantage and hit once. And I was like, oh my god, bro.
Even the setup was really good. Where, like, you had these invisible enemies that consistently could roll with advantage. So it's like the high AC of the players wouldn't matter as much, right?
Right?
And I was like 16 to hit, fail. 18 to hit, fail.
And it was always just like, I rolled like a 5 and 11, a 5 and a 10, a 6 and an 8, a 3 and a 2, and I was like, what the fuck is
always mediocre rolls. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. But yeah, so I Draw Steel Part 2 was also very surprising, because from the audience perspective, everybody seemed to really love episode 1, and Tactical Cinematic Heroic Dream Girl, the review beforehand. Yes. Then part 1 of the live play, called, I can't remember, but
holding secrets. Maybe.
Yeah, holding secrets because there was a secret in the hold. So people really like that one, and people like the final one called The Verdict. Where, but they hated the combat episode. Nobody listened to the combat episode.
It's hard to listen to. I mean, if I did a re-listen to those, I would probably just skip.
I listened to it. I listened to the whole thing. I was also playing a game while I was doing it, so I wasn't paying the most attention. But it was cool to hear the moments and the malice. It's just Draw Steel is so much funner to be a director. Yes, it's more fun for players, but my big PSA about Draw Steel, it's a lot more fun to direct. So, yes, definitely a surprising episode.
All right. Episode worth a little tangent of. It's funny, this is an episode you brought earlier, so we already talked about it. But Cutscene Simulator, Horror Story. Yay! Yeah, I like it. I mean, I just put up a D&D horror story that I listened to, and I thought this story is amazing.
Yeah.
And I need Ceres to react to this. And then I read it to him, and then he reacted to it. It was crazy. It was so fun.
I love the part at the end of the RPG horror story where all the players have quit, but the DM just keeps the game running and informs them periodically of all the cool shit he's doing on his own, playing with himself.
I mean, playing make-believe is like fine, but like it's really not cool for the others to listen to how your wizard defeated a god and married the elf queen. It's like,
and it was like not relevant to the plot that they played through at all.
No. Also, I loved how he let the players choose what the story was going to be about. Did a huge side tangent on the story to get his wizard back.
Yeah.
Pulled off an incredibly anticlimactic ending, and then it was like, and now the second arc begins about the secret brother that you didn't even know you had.
Yeah, it was such a weird thing where it felt to me very clearly that like the players were like, this is what we want to play, and the DM was like, oh shit, but that's not what I want to play. No worry, guys, I'll make what you said happen. Really quickly, on the side, out of the way, and in the meantime, we're going to spend most of our time focusing on actually my idea. Also, the whole part where he uses a character from a previous campaign, and like he uses this campaign in order to give godlike powers to his character from a previous campaign. That, in retrospect, is such a like you're playing with ChatGPT moment. Yeah. It's just like you're totally abusing the role of it. Like you're totally abusing the chair of the DM to give yourself more fantasy points on your character sheet.
We
it's
brought
crazy.
This episode up in the AI D&D episode where we felt like it was very similar.
Yeah, my episode worth a little tangent we did also already talk about, but I guess I'll change which one it is. Episode worth a little tangent. A Game of Rings.
Hey.
I thought A Game of Rings was really cool. I liked the tier list format for discussion, and there was a lot of contention between us that was well-intentioned, and it was cool to sort the characters into different categories and be like, oh, Witch King for life, Witch King's the best player, and it was like driving you nuts. Oh, Sauron is fashionable, or whatever. You remember, I think somebody said... I think
the Witch King...
It was with Copernicus, yes. Right? Was Copernicus saying Gollum was fashionable? Do you remember that moment?
Yeah, I mean, you know Copernicus in real life. Sometimes Copernicus just says something batshit insane, and you have to drag Copernicus back on the planet Earth.
What planet?
But to me, Witch King was crazy because, to me, Witch King is cool the way that the Joker is cool.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in a car with this man. You don't want him to host. You want to watch him in a movie, and that's it.
A lot of the charm of the Witch King was something I was artificially adding on top, which is the idea that he's self-aware playing his character, and when he gets defeated, he allows himself to be defeated fair and square because there's a loophole in the formulation, and he's totally committed to everything that he has established and acting in accordance with canon. And of course, the Witch King as a character himself in the books is not at all meta-aware of what's going on and is probably an awful person, right? So a lot of the charm was something I was putting on him, which is this meta perspective. But yeah, that was a fun episode. That episode deserves a tangent. Originally, I was going to say The Trial of Harry Seldon, but we already talked about that one. I think that one's really good. If you want to listen to the podcast from the start, that's one of the ones to keep an eye out for.
Speaking of recommendations, which episode would you recommend a friend to start?
So, I already mentioned Trial of Harry Seldon. It is a great one to start with, but we've already mentioned it a few times. The one I want to mention is a D&D argument worth having.
Hey, that's one of my two.
Yeah?
That's one of my two.
Yeah. Oh, man. A D&D argument worth having I really loved. It's just a great summary. Like, I also had it in contention for most valuable episode. I just feel like it's really good advice about D&D, and I'm really happy it's one of the first D&D advice episodes we did.
It's a good starter episode because like a lot of the other episodes that we talk about D&D can kind of like echo that one.
Absolutely,
it's a strong foundation. For everything that comes after.
It's really the kind of episode that's my baby, where it's just like, I really got to express this point of view and this belief I had. It's almost like having like you ever have like an online argument where it's more about expressing yourself than listening to the other person's side?
Yeah.
I finally got to express this thing, right? I really just finally got to express this idea of why D&D arguments can be useless a lot of the time.
Like we kind of like came up with like the different like scales, almost like the MBTI test quiz, where like introvert or extrovert. It's like, are you more of this kind of them or this kind of them?
Yeah.
And then I gave you like the worst possible, like, what are you? And in the beginning you didn't get it. I was like, yeah, I think it's like DM roles behind the screen, but only for the player roles. I was like, what? And then you're like, oh, okay, you're doing a bit. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing a bit.
Yeah, and like so what element is the element where fun comes from is like still, I think, a really important consideration when you get a table together. So
it's like, the captive audience to my book.
Exactly. That's the
so
fun.
my alternative one also we talked about, but at this point I feel like it's Tentacle time. Tentacle. I think it's a fun episode. You start with a bit of history and then you have a bit of TTRPG discussion. I feel like those are two big power components of our thing. A bit of like discussing something real and intellectual that you care about, and then like boom, Dungeons and Dragons. And like why it's hard to do horror story.
I just thought of it, but actually this episode is a great episode to start with because it gives you a review of all the other episodes, and then you can use this as your TV guide for all the other episodes.
No, because a person who listened to this episode was like, well, I guess the episode they're talking about was really funny. Wish I knew it.
Well, they have heard the name, and often I gave a description of what the episode was about.
No.
All right.
Hard disagree. Most contentious
Speaking of disagreement.
Most contentious episode.
All right.
Here I have my Chat D&D one.
Yes, I agree. That is obviously contentious because it's about AI and stuff like that. I don't think it should be contentious. I think all the points we made are pretty sound, and we have firsthand experience with it because we've gone through it. But
it's also like contentious, I feel like, in the fact that we even made it. Like sitting down in hindsight, it's like, I mean, we used up a lot of time, we learned something, and we got a lot of comedic material out of like there may or may not be 4 goblins hiding in those bushes. That one right there. This one? No, the other one. If you succeed.
If you succeed, you'll see a trap on the ground. I definitely, my most contentious one is a little bit cheating, so I have a backup in case you say it's too much cheating, but it's the unreleased Marvel, the MCU, or what is it? Marvel Comics introduces Cool Raaba. So story time. All right.
Story time.
So originally, Theia was like, I have this idea. I've got these really crazy Marvel characters from the past.
Same principle.
But I made up other ones, and you're going to guess which ones are which. And I was like, okay, cool. And then we start to play the game, and they're all super racist.
And it's very obvious which ones are the fake ones.
Because they can't be as racist as the real ones. Because, like, Theia, you can't do this, right?
I only made one that was, like, problematic. And like all the other ones were like so mild compared to Kamikaze.
It was often like silly one versus like super racist one, right? And so I not only could I tell very easily, but it's also such a downer. It was like, man, Marvel Comics, like look up the Mandrill, the villain, and just you'll just feel so disgusting, and you'll just be like, oh my god, Marvel, you made this? When did you make it? And it's like 1954 or something. I guess.
Like, yeah, that checks out.
Like, oh my god, you know? And so that episode, and at the end of the recording we were just like, this wasn't fun. This wasn't good. We don't want to release this episode.
So I sat down, I redid it, and in an hour I redid the episode with non-problematic ones.
And it was so impressive. I mean, it was so impressive that within an hour and one re-record, we turned like what would have been, I'm sure, one of our worst episodes ever, like least proud of episodes ever, into a really good episode and sparked a really good format, right? Like if we had just stuck to that one, I don't think we would have done the format again, right? And so
I think there's a version of that where it's like, you know what, I want to do that again.
Yeah, true.
Maybe there's that timeline.
And so
yeah, I mean, we would not have Cool Raaba.
Yeah, exactly. We wouldn't have Cool Raaba.
Namor, sidekick.
Oh man,
classic sidekick of Namor, Chum.
I still love Squirrel Bingo Bango. I know that's from the other one, but
Squirrel Bingo Bango. I had to pair up with Dog Welder, man.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess I have to come up with another animal abuse one.
Yeah. So I that one was definitely most contentious. But if you don't count that one, what was my second one? Let me quickly check here.
What's your honorable mention? I counted.
Oh, yeah, the tier list ones. So D tier and D tier specifically.
Yeah, that one was like that a bit mean. Is like sometimes I had to be mean, and like it felt like I don't want to be mean about Kohai.
Yeah, exactly, and that was the thing.
Kohai is awesome.
That was one of the episodes I would also have enjoyed doing a retake on. Yeah. Like I think the concept works, but we needed to use more characters that we didn't care about as much, or be more explicit. Because basically all the characters that we cared about a ton, we spent a ton of time talking about them and adjusting their scores and figuring out where they go on the scale at the end. But for all the characters we didn't care about, we had a great time. Yeah. So I think we maybe should have just not included as many characters that we cared so deeply about, or been more clear with one another ahead of the recording how exactly we're going to do this, you know?
It's funny, we didn't even consider bringing our Blaze in the Dark characters.
Yeah.
Even though we all played, I mean, I guess
they were all on the extended list. They all showed up on the extended list, but then we cut it down, right? Because in the end, we only got to 3 characters per person. So yeah, D tier. All the tier list episodes were controversial. I mean, obviously, also the Witch King thing was controversial, but we already talked about that.
But that's not a controversial episode, I would say.
No, it was just controversial between us.
Yeah, okay, finally, we are reaching the bottom of the list for the final non-best episode one. Best episode you didn't host.
So for me, the best Theia episode, and for you, the best series episode. Yeah. Mine is predictably Dog Welder. Dog Welder was so fucking funny. Another one where at the end of it, my face was hurting just from how much I'd been laughing and smiling. It was such a great time. It was so unhinged. It was so funny. It was so good to listen to. When I was laughing in the editing room, which tells you something, right? It was just, I love that episode. I love that episode deeply. I'm so happy we got to have that moment with those guests and with that episode. It's just, it was one of those moments where I was like, I'm glad we recorded this. I'm glad we made a podcast out of this, and it wasn't just a conversation we had at some point.
It was so funny. There's a 3, maybe 3 in a row in there that is the golden lane of anti-crypto, Dog Welder, and the super inept guy,
Willie the Worst. I loved that guy. And, statistical genius.
Yeah, right. And then it's just so funny because I thought after that we kind of entered in a less entertaining zone where you had your Super Mario versus Sonic crossover, etc. I thought still good stuff, but the golden hour is gone. But then out of nowhere comes the fact that the first version of how Jason Todd came back to life is because in another reality Superboy punched the universe too hard, and that part just grinded the game to a halt, and you had to clarify that yes, Superboy punched the world too hard, and that brought Red Hood Jason Todd back.
Yeah.
That was such a curveball.
I also loved we were just so sidetracked during recording as well. As you said, it was a heroic edit after the fact, and it's just it's so funny to me that even the tags, even after the outro music plays, we have a whole 4 minutes of funny bloopers, of funny ass bloopers where you just see us discover progressively more and more things that make us convinced Mr. America is a white supremacist. We're talking about his sidekick Fat Man, talking about Mr. Mixel Pixelix. Yeah, it was just even the tags on that episode are so good, and it was just that was my favorite Theia episode. Absolutely.
So my best episode that you hosted, I have 2. The Sauropod we already had, so I guess that's my honorable mention.
I'm so glad.
Episode. I had a lot of fun, and you put in so much work. I really appreciate that episode. I was so happy about it, and I think partially it was an episode that kind of like inspired me to do my own quiz. So great one there.
Thank you. Also, that makes me feel so revenged for the fact that like nobody listened to it on Spotify.
Yeah, and then I'll keep that one as my honorable mention since we already brought it up. One that we kind of brought up partially, but never won anything. I think Firefly.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing me that. It was great. I will keep watching Firefly. It was amazing. It was great to watch something that I had heard of so much, and I aspire to show you something great.
Yeah.
Even though I keep showing you trash. Actually, I can kind of give you a little like a spoiler. The next time, I already told you I want to show you something. Actually, I want to show you two things, and I want to do a format where we watch two things that are both good, and like we sit down and contrast them. How they both do something interesting differently.
Oh, what an art critique!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to show you two movies, not one.
Wow,
but they're both good.
They're both good. What a treat!
Good. Yeah.
I look forward.
I have to catch up on good movies because I keep,
That's actually my new favorite Theia episode. It's the one where we watch a good movie together. All right, finally, our very last award. Now, this award is for the best episode overall, in our opinion, of the whole year. And this can be duplicate. Like one of the ones from the last category can also win this one.
It must be, right? There's no way that it's not an episode.
It's Dog Welder.
It's Dog Welder.
Dog Welder was the best episode. If you want to listen to only one episode of this podcast, go listen to Dog Welder. It was so fucking good.
Yeah. Also, can I say something? Since it's on the topic of Dog Welder, we kind of had the category that we discarded, Best Chibi.
Oh, yeah.
My best chibi is Polaris's, which I made for Dog Welder, so fuck it. I'm throwing it. I also love it because Polaris is my favorite chibi.
Okay, so talking about the chibis. So the chibis are our little figurines, right? Like if you're on YouTube and you've seen the intro, you see our little dudes like running around. There's one for Ceres, one for Theia. I think my favorite one is Theia one. Like, I think it's the cleverest concept artistically, and I think it's also part of why you picked the name. And I think it works well. And there's so many funny Theias in the different thumbnails going around.
I can really play around.
Of course, I'm attached to Ceres, right? I love my little cape. I love my blue eyes. I love my little mug, right? But
the infinite process of sending you things. And you're like,
actually, yeah, no, but I like all the different series you've drawn over the year, but I still think Theia's the best chibi.
I like the series chibi in like the old versus new fantasy episode, which by the way, good episode.
Yeah,
I like it.
That was a good.
And I made you
minor side tangent. Old versus new fantasy. That was a great episode.
Yeah,
has a nice thumbnail too.
Yeah, I like in the thumbnail that like because you're gray skinned, I made you like a knight and like with the same color palette.
Yeah.
And then the visor is colored after your eye.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it was great. And it was also fun that I was the traditional and you were the new one, because that's sort of where our personalities and our feelings are. I really like bringing back classic stories and tropes, but like updating them, doing them in a slightly new way, but still kind of faithful to the original to some degree. And you really like turning things completely on their head and doing like completely new stuff, you know?
Yeah, what if Mind Slayers put like they're infected and celestial?
Yeah. And I'm more like, hey, what if you took space and a Western, you put them together, right? And it's like taking two classic things but combining them in a new way, you know? But yeah, anyways, best episode of the whole year, it goes to Dog Welder Cometh.
Do you have honorable mentions for best episode?
All the other ones that we mentioned, this like there are so many good ones that we did. Like in terms of funniness, the RPG horror story comes up again. D&D argument worth having and self-compassion are always going to have a spot in my heart for having like really strong, well-formulated messages that I find that I just feel like most useful episodes that like someone could listen to and be like, huh, that's a good point, you know?
Yeah. It never comes up. I just want to another like episode that I want to shout out. Is what was the name of the episode? The thing with the numbers. Lessons Beyond Numbers.
Oh, really?
I liked listening to that podcast. I never end up following up on it because we don't have infinite time.
Yeah.
But like, it was great to listen to it.
Yeah.
I had a good time. I thought you did a great job with your little intro narrations to every section.
Yeah.
It was just good time. Just good time.
I'm glad.
And, our starter episodes all have a bit of a fond. I have a strong fondness for them because they're the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, the Arcane episode we talked about, a Tentacle Time we talked about, a D&D argument worth having we talked about, Tourniquet we talked about it. I want to talk about it that one as well. It wasn't the most successful, but it's a good episode.
Yeah, I still like Arcane. Like, going back to it, I still think it was great. It was a great idea to start off on an Arcane review, and I remember that being one of the more eye-opening episodes because you've just watched it so much that you were like talking about, oh, you know, the smoking is a metaphor for it, and I was like, oh, really? You know, and that was really cool for me. But that has brought us towards the end of our podcast. I look forward to doing these again next year.
Yay.
With 50 more episodes.
50 more episodes.
I kind of actually really like the idea of only releasing 50 episodes a year, like always skipping 2 weeks a year. So then it's always like, okay, it really makes it so clean to divide it all up. There's some part of my organization brain that loves the idea that you can just divide the episode number by 50 and figure out when it happened.
Yeah.
You know? But we'll see if that happens, or if it doesn't. We made 50 episodes of great content.
Yeah.
Of great fun.
I had a great time during this game.
I had a great time hanging out. You know, we've hung out at least 100 hours on pod at this point. Like in terms of preparation and editing and talking about the podcast and actually recording, and I don't regret those 100 hours one bit.
At all. Probably more.
Probably more than that.
But to be honest.
I mean, definitely if we talk about the AI episode or we didn't even Theia's workshop, which we've started now recording on the side, which is a whole different project. Yes. But alrighty, with all of that done, do you have anything you want to plug?
I have been continuing Endor Season 2. I might have already brought it up when I started it, but now I'm almost done with it. And I think we might talk about Endor. When you're done with it, Season 2, I think we might have to sit down and talk about Endor.
Absolutely.
Especially in the context, I have some thoughts about Endor in the context of Foundation and in the context of Arcane.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I look forward to that. So far, all I can say is Endor Season 2 knocked it out of the park. You know,
it's the last one too, right?
Yeah. It's the last one already, and like I am watching it to Copernicus. Copernicus has not watched Star Wars Rogue One. I really look forward to sitting down and watching Rogue One because they don't even know.
They don't even know. Oh my god!
Exactly right. I'm watching this entire show with the hindsight. Yeah. And there's a lot of irony. Like spoilers for Season 1. Season 1 ends with this after credit scene where you see the machines that they were building in prison. You will see what they're being used for, those things that they were assembling in prison. Yeah. And like you slowly pan out to this giant surface of interconnected bits, components that they've been assembling. And you realize it's the giant panel of the Death Star. So it's like he has been building pieces of the Death Star, which is so ironic for how Rogue One ends.
Yeah.
And like it's so interesting how like personally connected to the Death Star this character is now. Yeah. And like Endor Season 2, this is not like a huge leap. Continues this tradition without going into the details. Yeah. So,
that's cool. I'm gonna be cheesy. I'm gonna plug hanging out with your friends. I did it early on in the podcast. I'm doing it again. It's time for you all, for all of our listeners, go hang out with your friends. Go make something with them. Go spend time with them. Be creative.
And if you're one of our friends listening, we hope to hang out with you more the coming year, doing more guest episodes.
Oh, yeah.
You here.
And also just hanging out in general, if you don't want to get on mic.
I have kind of a question.
Yeah.
Do you have an episode for the next year that you're like... that is not just like a retread of something we've already done, not another Truth or Theia. Do you have something that like you'd like to do? Do you have something in mind like, oh yeah, I think this next year I want to do this?
No, actually. No? Like it's interesting. I feel like ideas grip me in the moment, and the ideas that I had at the start of the podcast to do, many of them I'm like, I haven't gotten to them because I think actually I don't really want to do them. And I'm excited to do like more Reddit stories. I'm excited to do more Truth or Theia. I'm excited to do more reviews, but I actually, interestingly, have found this really poignant catharsis for me, actually, that by expressing myself this amount, I start to feel like, I think I've said what I want to say. Like, there's some part of me that's like, you know what? I've said a lot of stuff, and I don't need to say that. I don't know how many more D&D advice episodes are in me. Like, and that actually feels really peaceful. Like, it feels really nice to be like, I got it off my chest. I got it out. Yeah. So... I'm happy. I'm excited to hang out and stuff, but I've actually reached the point where I'm like no longer looking forward to a specific like, oh, I gotta do another one about that. I gotta express my feelings on that. I'm like, nah, actually, I think I expressed the most important stuff I needed to express. It's out there, and that's a really great feeling.
I'm looking forward to an episode that you pitched me on like games of our childhood.
Oh yeah.
And like,
that's gonna be cool.
It kind of also inspired me to like I want to talk about books more. I want to talk about some like fantasy books that I grew up in, which I think once you listen to it, you know, you remember when we watched Nausicaa and you said, did you watch this as a kid and decide that this was going to be your entire personality? No, actually, I watched this when I was like 22. I have some books that like will much more make you go, oh, this is why this is your outlook on fantasy. I see. And then I think another type of episode that I want to do that I haven't really had the chance to do so far is I want to talk more about like homebrewing philosophy, how to homebrew, when to homebrew, and like how I like to homebrew. It doesn't even have to be a lesson. I just want to express like my process.
Yeah.
And how I think about it. Yeah, in general.
I think that'd be really cool. I love doing episodes on game design.
Yeah, but in general, I think that it's true that like after this year, we've definitely find a lot of like niches that we are comfortable in. We're like more Truth of Theia, hell yeah. More Reddit stories, hell yeah. We already have all of these like more sitting down and watching a bad movie.
Yeah. I love it. It's one of my favorite kind of episodes to do.
I want to sit down and like watch something insane with you.
Yeah.
And then pause and look at the screen and go back and look on the victory counter on the ice cube and what are you talking about? It's drinking the data. Why is the plane crashing? And why was the plane even taking off? We closed airports for rain. Alien invasion.
I love that. We close airports for rain. There's aliens here. What are you doing?
There's asteroids coming from the sky. There's storms that apparently even Sandra NASA is like, we've never seen like that.
The one nut that we have yet to crack that I want to do, but I'm not sure exactly how to do it, but I think would be fun to do, is I want to do some Stormlight episodes. I want to talk about the Cosmere. I want to talk about Stormlight Archive. I like Brandon Sanderson's book have been like my biggest adult post-college fantasy reawakening. I've been enjoying it a ton. Oh my god, I want to talk to you about Scadrial so much.
I remember.
I'm like, read Mistborn, Theia, and then after Mistborn, read all the Era 2 books, and after that's done, get really excited for me about the Era 3 books. Like, I can't stress to you enough that I am really excited about the 8th book in a series you haven't started yet, and I want to talk to you about it really badly.
I remember.
So I want to talk about Stormlight and Cosmere at some point with you and do some book reviews for fantasy. I am very excited about that.
I remember when I don't know, like a year or two ago, I came to you talking like how I got these fantasy books, and it started The Name of the Wind, and it kind of sucked. And like I don't really understand. By the way, hot take: I couldn't finish The Name of the Wind.
I don't know if that's a hot take. I've heard that from all my friends.
Right, cool.
I've heard from all my friends, like, look, the prose is really, really great, but what is this Mary Sue character, and it doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, like I feel like if I was 14, I would be enjoying it a lot more. Anyways, and then when I told him, like, why don't I start this book called The Way of Kings, and it's very interesting. It has this interesting main character who's like the son of a surgeon who wanted to be a soldier. Like the book starts with him getting his ass kicked, and then he's a slave, and like his entire arc is about like finding hope again and saving lives instead of like killing.
Yeah,
and you're like, wow, that sounds so cool.
And I remember
the world is really racist. And like the world building is really designed in a way that it's clear that like
the racism
is bad. Not just bad, it's wrong.
Yeah,
it's clear. A lot of characters sometimes go like, curious how that thing doesn't really line up with my racist worldview. I wonder what that is about. And as a reader, supposed to go like, it's because racism. You're wrong. You're wrong.
I remember it was so funny when you told me about that, right? We were like, well, actually, should I tell you about the book or is it spoilers? And I was like, I haven't read a fantasy book in so long. There's no way I'm going to read it.
And now it's like, Brando, give me more.
Yeah, exactly. And now I've read like 4 Game of Thrones length books. I'm waiting for the 5th one to be available from the library. I've read a whole other trilogy of his in the meantime.
Yeah. Also, it's so funny to me that like you are so eager and yet so patient about waiting for the books in the library.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I consumed Wind and Truth in like 4 days,
Yeah.
which is by far his longest book.
65 hours of audiobook time.
Yeah, I was just like 2.5 speed bus ride on the Flixbus, perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing got to do. I listened to like 24 hours worth of book in like a 10-hour bus ride there, there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, I know. I have knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, with all of that said, I am looking forward to the next year. Those are some of the things you can maybe expect as an audience. And we should definitely go listen back to this clip later when we're like, oh, it's Friday again. I don't know what idea to record. But in the meantime, that'll just about do it for episode 50 of A Friendly Orbit. You can find us on youtube.com/@afriendlyorbit, as well as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if you have any Astro Echoes you want to send us, we didn't get many this year, but if you have any you want to send us, you can send them to friendlyorbit@gmail.com, all one word.
We got a lot of scam mail.
We did. We got a lot of scam emails. One really nice comment from a friend of ours, although we didn't get it to the email. Neria just texted it to us. And then some verbal feedback and a few comments on Spotify. We appreciate...
Comments on YouTube.
And YouTube, mainly saying do more Draw Steel and us being like, yeah! That probably would be the most, like, views, like, algorithm boosting thing for us to do, but we kind of already play D&D every week. We don't need to play TTRPGs twice a week.
All right, Ceres. I'll talk to you later. And to all of our fellow Voyagers, we will catch you out there amongst the stars.
It's been a good year, Theia.
Been a good year, Ceres.